Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're tackling a question quite a few of you have actually asked about. Is Arqit Quantum a good time to buy right now? We've gathered a whole stack of recent information on them, and honestly, the signals are really quite contradictory. So we're going to try and unpack all of that to help you make a more informed decision. And as always, if there's a specific company you want us to look into, please just leave a comment below. And hey, while you're there, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It really helps support the show. Okay, let's start by, laying the groundwork here. We've been digging into Arqit Quantum's recent financials, and well, they paint a pretty challenging picture, don't they? Before we get into maybe the more speculative stuff, it feels crucial to understand the company's financial foundation, or lack thereof, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. The revenue story is, well, it's quite revealing.
Yeah.
Maybe revealing in its absence.
Mm-hmm.
For the fiscal year ending September 30, 2024, Arqit Quantum reported revenue of just $5.5 million.
$5.5 million. That seems low.
It is. And it's actually a decline of about 21% from the previous year's $7.7 million. Now, the company attributes this drop largely to delays in converting customer contracts and just longer sales cycles. Basically, getting people signed up for their quantum encryption is taking longer than hoped.
A 21% drop, especially in a field like quantum that's supposed to be booming, that really does jump out. But what about profitability? Is anything looking better there? Or is this just, the price of trying to innovate?
It seems to be more concerning than just innovation costs. The picture gets quite a bit darker when you look at the bottom line. The company reported a net loss of $56.2 million for that same period.
Ouch.
Yeah, and that's up from a loss of $45.5 million the year before.
Yeah.
This growing loss is mainly because of consistently high operating expenses and naturally the huge R&D costs you get in a field like quantum tech. They pretty much always had negative operating and net margins. No profitable quarters ever, actually. And near-term profitability, not really expected through at least fiscal year 2025. So it's a sustained issue.
Okay, so drilling down a bit more, how does this affect their actual financial health? I mean, their ability to just keep the lights on. Cash on hand, liquidity that's absolutely vital for an early stage tech company burning through money on innovation, right?
Exactly. And if you connect the dots, their cash and equivalents, well, they drop pretty significantly.
Right.
Went from $48.6 million down to $27.1 million as of September 30, 2024. And that big drop, it's directly because of negative operating cash flows. They spent about $21.2 million more than they brought in just running the business that year.
Right.
So this raises a really important question. Liquidity risk. The company itself, in its annual report, actually disclosed that its current cash is only enough to fund operations for about 12 months from the date of that report.
12 months. That's not long.
Yeah, and that's a very clear signal of what's called a going concern risk. Essentially, their own auditors are saying there's substantial doubt about the company's ability to keep operating for the next year unless they find more money. Yeah. So for investors, for you listening, that's not just a red flag. It's more like a flashing siren, questioning if the business can even survive.
That going concern risk is undeniably strong language. You don't see that every day. But, for a cutting-edge tech startup in a brand new field, isn't some level of cash burn sort of expected? Is Arqit's risk really that much worse than others in similar spots?
That's a fair question. Lots of startups burn cash, definitely. What makes Arqit Quantum's situation, I think, more alarming is the scale of the cash burn compared to their revenue, which is actually falling, combined with the company itself stating it only has a 12-month runway. It's not just some theoretical risk down the line. It's a current stated problem.
Yeah.
Plus, they operate in this very new, very competitive, fast-changing quantum encryption and cybersecurity space. Now, they claim they have a unique protocol for their quantum cloud symmetric encryption, and they are trying to shift towards licensing and SOS.
Which sounds like the right direction, strategically.
It does, but the problem is real-world adoption, getting actual contracts signed. That momentum seems pretty limited so far. Their revenue base is tiny, and the contract wins they have had seem kind of lumpy, big, unpredictable chunks rather than a steady stream.
Ah, okay. Makes forecasting tough, I imagine.
Exactly. Which just feeds back into those liquidity worries.
Okay, so with those pretty concerning financials as a backdrop, let's pivot. Let's look at what the market itself has been doing, because sometimes the stock price tells a different story, or at least anticipates one, right? What's the technical picture looking like?
Well, technically speaking, Arquit Quantum shares have definitely been volatile, which, isn't shocking for an early stage tech name. As of, let's see, August 27th, 2025, the stock closed at 82 cents. 82 cents. But looking back over the last 3 months from that point, it traded in a really wide range between about 55 cents and $1.30.
Big swings.
Very big swings. We see some pretty clear support where buyers tend to show up around that 55 to 65 cent level. And then resistance where selling pressure picks up seems to be between about $1 and $1.20, places where rallies have stalled out before.
Okay. So when we look at the trends, the indicators, does that technical picture kind of line up with the weak fundamentals? Or is there maybe a hint of a turnaround starting to show in the charts?
Unfortunately, not really. Just from the technical indicators alone, both the short-term moving averages, like the 20-day, and the longer-term ones, the 50-day, the 200-day, which help show the trend.
Yep.
They're mostly trending down or just flat. That points to persistent bearish momentum.
Okay.
And the relative strength index, the RSI, which measures price momentum, it was hovering near 40 recently. Now, that's not quite oversold. Usually below 30 might signal a bounce, but it's definitely showing underlying weakness, still in bearish territory. And the MACD, another momentum indicator, showing weekly negative signals, kind of reinforces that cautious technical view. Overall, high volatility. Volume spikes often seem tied to news or just speculative trading, not really a solid building uptrend.
And what about the sort of general mood, the sentiment around the company? Are insiders buying or selling? What's the chatter like?
Yeah, this raises a good question about confidence, or maybe the lack of it. We've actually seen multiple Form 144 filings throughout July to September 2025.
Form 144, remind us what that signifies.
Right, those are notices that company insiders like executives, directors are planning to sell shares. It doesn't always mean they lack faith, but a cluster of them often hints at waning confidence from the people who know the company best.
Okay, so insiders potentially looking to sell, not ideal.
Not ideal. Plus, analyst coverage from the big Wall Street firms is pretty thin. Scarce, actually. So there isn't much institutional guidance or research readily available. And if you look at social media, forums, that kind of thing, the sentiment tends to lean negative. Lots of talk about that going concern risk, even worries about potential delisting. It paints a fairly apprehensive picture.
Okay, so financials shaky, technicals weak, insider selling, negative chatter. It all sounds pretty bleak. But here's where it gets really interesting, almost confusing, because despite everything we just laid out, our sources also show a completely different story playing out in the market recently. There are reports suggesting a totally different kind of momentum. What on earth is driving that?
That's right. And this is where the plot, as they say, really thickens. It gets quite wild. Well, one source, as we said, had the price at 82 cents in late August. Another one highlights a massive turnaround. This other source says that in September 2025, the company's share price actually surged sharply to over $32.
Wait, from 82 cents to over $32 in like a month?
Exactly. A truly monumental jump from those previous lows and that August price. That kind of move obviously reflects extreme investor optimism, probably speculation, really heating up ahead of its annual general meeting and any expected company updates. It just underscores the incredible volatility and, frankly, the speculative fever that can grip a stock like this.
A surge to over $32 that's an explosion. It's not just a bounce, it's a fundamental re-rating, or at least the market thinks it is. What specific developments could possibly be driving that kind of intense excitement? What's on the horizon for Arqit?
Well, there have been a few key things happening. Back in July 2025, Arquit announced it was expanding its pipeline of quantum-safe encryption products internationally. They were leveraging their patented SKA platform. Now, that move helped reinforce their image as a leader in post-quantum cryptography, which is a hot area, and it definitely caught the eye of investors looking for growth there.
Okay, international expansion. That makes sense.
Then in August, they announced their annual general meeting, the AGM, for September. That immediately drew a lot of attention from both retail folks and institutions, especially because around the same time, the company was getting some technology innovation awards and industry recognition for that SKA platform. That adds credibility.
Right. Awards and recognition always help the story.
Definitely. So those are some concrete catalysts that likely fueled the recent buzz and that incredible price surge.
So that AGM then, the one on September 16th, 2025, that's clearly been a huge focus point for investors, a major near-term catalyst. What else should listeners be watching out for? Any other upcoming dates or events that could inject more volatility or maybe opportunity?
Yeah, looking ahead, there are definitely a few key dates on the calendar. There's the EPF rebalancing period around October 1st, 2025. That can sometimes cause swings as big funds adjust holdings. Then the institutional holdings reports are due October 15th. That'll give us a snapshot of whether big money managers were buying or selling during the previous quarter. Very interesting after that price spike.
Definitely want to see that.
And then Q3 fiscal 25 earnings are expected around November 11th. That's the next big financial update. But yeah, you're right. Investor focus is probably still going to be glued to any news out of that AGM. Things like leadership changes, new strategies, maybe big commercial partnerships announced there. Any of those could really set the direction.
Okay. And beyond those scheduled events, are there any big rumors swirling? You know, the more speculative stuff that could really move the needle dramatically for Arqit Quantum? The market loves a good rumor, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speculation is definitely playing a huge part here. There's a lot of anticipation, for example, around potential new government regulations or industry-wide standards for post-quantum encryption.
Ah, like a mandate.
Exactly. If something like that happens, forcing companies to upgrade, it could massively accelerate adoption for Arquit's products, given their specialty. Then there are these persistent rumors about a major partnership, maybe with a big North American tech company or even a defense contractor.
That would be huge.
Game-changing, potentially. If it materialized, it could completely re-rate their future revenue outlook. There's also market chatter about possibly getting included in key technology or cybersecurity stock indices. That could force passive funds, like ETFs, to buy shares.
Passive inflows, right.
And maybe the juiciest rumor, though totally unsubstantiated, is talk of M&A interest. You know, could a larger security firm or cloud provider want to buy Arquit for its intellectual property, its patents?
Acquire the tech.
Precisely. Highly speculative, all of it. But these kinds of stories definitely capture investor imagination and can fuel price moves.
So let's try and pull these incredibly different threads together. It's quite a task. What picture emerges when you try to synthesize these completely contrasting viewpoints? On one side, you've got deeply worrying fundamentals, weak technicals, a very bleak story. But on the other side, this explosive price momentum recently and all these tantalizing potential catalysts suggesting maybe a breakout is happening or could happen. It's a real head scratcher for investors.
It really is. And this raises that crucial question. How do you weigh these very different, almost opposing factors? On the one hand, you absolutely cannot ignore the documented going concern risk. Again, that means their own auditors have serious doubts about the company staying afloat long-term without more cash. That's fundamental.
Can't sweep that under the rug.
No. And there's the ongoing struggle to get consistent commercial traction, get those revenues flowing reliably, plus the risk of dilution. Remember that F3 filing back in August? That's basically a shelf registration allowing them to sell new shares relatively quickly to raise capital.
Meaning existing shareholders could see their ownership percentage shrink?
Exactly. Practical for the company, maybe, but a potential negative for current investors. These are very real, very concrete, fundamental risks that could seriously impact an investment here.
So even with the stock price surging to $32, those speculative catalysts, potential partnerships, those core fundamental risks, the going concern, the cash burn, they're still there. They haven't vanished. It really does sound like walking a tightrope.
It absolutely is. And you have to remember the industry context, too. It's highly competitive. It's changing incredibly fast. That adds another layer of risk. And Arquit is a small-cap, early-stage tech stock. These are inherently super sensitive to overall market swings, changes in investor appetite for risk, and any regulatory news. One of the sources we looked at considering all this actually rated the company a 2 out of 10 overall.
2 out of 10, wow.
Yeah, explicitly advising against long-term investment until there's clear evidence of significant fundamental improvement. However, that recent momentum, that price explosion, and the upcoming potential catalysts, they paint a picture of a company maybe at a pivotal inflection point. That's what's driving both the crazy near-term volatility and, as we saw, that potential for huge speculative upside. It feels like a very binary outcome is possible.
Binary, all or nothing, almost.
Pretty much. Investing here right now feels a bit like, I don't know, trying to catch lightning in a bottle, or maybe navigating a storm. Huge potential energy, but incredibly dangerous volatility. It's a high-stakes bet.
Definitely sounds like a high-stakes play. Not one for the faint of heart, clearly.
And what this really highlights, this stark contrast, is that classic narrative investment playing out. Arqit Quantum isn't really being valued today on its current balance sheet or its P&L. It's almost a pure play on the future story of quantum cybersecurity.
Betting on the narrative.
Exactly. The market, or at least parts of it driving that surge, seems to be pricing in a significant chance that these regulatory changes will happen, or a major partnership will land, or some breakthrough will occur that fundamentally changes the company's value. So the insight for you, listening, isn't just about the financials, the tech, but recognizing this is a high-conviction bet on an unfolding future, a future where today's pretty dismal fundamentals are almost being ignored by some market participants.
Interesting way to frame it.
Well, yes, any big contract win or new regulation could absolutely trigger another stock pop. The current evidence in their financial filings just doesn't support that as a reliable base case scenario for steady long-term growth. Not yet, anyway. But the market is clearly reacting to that potential future, not the present reality. It's a bet on what could be miles away from what is right now.
So what does this all boil down to for you, the listener, who's asking that original question? Is it a good time to buy Arqit Quantum? It really sounds like the answer completely depends on your personal tolerance for risk and how long you're planning to invest. So there you have it, our look at Arqit Quantum from, well, quite a few different angles. It's definitely a company facing significant financial hurdles and risks. You can't ignore that going concern warning. Yet at the same time, it's seen this dramatic recent market momentum and possesses these genuinely tantalizing speculative catalysts in a truly cutting-edge field like quantum encryption.
Yeah, and given that stark contrast, the really worrying fundamentals versus that explosive speculative potential, the critical question for you becomes, how do you weigh those known significant risks against the potential speculative rewards in a sector that's so cutting edge, but also incredibly volatile? That's really the decision that depends entirely on your own investment horizon and your personal comfort level with risk.
Thank you for joining us on Investing Talk podcast. We really hope this exploration helps you as you navigate your own investment decisions. And please don't forget to subscribe, like the show, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We genuinely love hearing from you. Let us know what you think about Arquit or suggest another company. We'll be back soon with another company discussion.